So I want to read you a fascinating part. So Mao Zedong ruled the Communist Party of China, the People's Republic of China, the PRC, as the chairman, the top, the king on the throne, so to speak, of China for nearly 50 years, you would say. He dies. A man named Deng Xiaoping, I could be saying that wrong, takes over. Wasn't considered the chairman, but was probably the most important head figure of China at that time. And this is a China going through changes. He had a more of a Chinese socialist, open up to market. There's people around me that are distracting my mind, but so Deng Xiaoping, he dies in 1997. Mao Zedong died, I think, early 70s. I could be wrong. So this guy had the head position for a few decades, more or less. And he was getting pushback from the conservative Chinese nationalists who wanted to keep it communist at its purest form. Self-reliance, centralized economy, non-intellectuals, the only ones allowed to be part of the Communist Party. And it's very, very interesting. If you don't allow intellectuals into your group, will you advance? It's almost saying that no. We want a government. We want a people who are not smart. I mean, an intellectual is someone who likes to read, someone who's educated, someone who is knowledgeable on many opinions and different ways of life. And so, anyway, so Deng Xiaoping, he already gave up his power, but he was still an important figure, right? It's like having an ex-president who people revere and adore, and he still has some influence. So Deng Xiaoping goes on a southern tour. He decides to go visit some of these new areas in China that have taken to his newest ideology. I want to say ideology, or like his newest way to run. You know, he finally opened up advancements in technology and science. He was pro all that, but he said, you know what? We're gonna allow some intellectuals to do their thing, right? We're gonna allow them to learn from other countries. We're gonna open up. We're gonna have more diplomatic relations with America and these more advancing nations. But we're gonna hold true to our Chinese culture and our Chinese core. And this was a man that was very critical of the Cultural Revolution, the Red Guard, the Red Terror, the Great Leap Forward. So and he thought the Cultural Revolution brought nothing but harm to the Chinese. I'm sure he might have found some benefits to it, but for the most part, he found it to be moving the Chinese people backwards and creating this vulnerability as far as military and the economy and the technological advancements. And so, anyway, at the end of his life, he goes on this southern tour to go see these new factories, these new parts of China that were part of his reformation of the country in the late 20th century. And I found this interesting. So, in a sign of how far China has come in less than 20 years since the southern tour, Deng Xiaoping in 1992 extolled the 4 big items it was essential to make available to consumers in the countryside: a bicycle, a sewing machine, a radio, and a wristwatch. China's economy could reach a new stage every few years, he declared, and China would succeed if the Chinese dared to emancipate our minds and act freely in responding to challenges as they arose. Science and technology were the key. Intellectuals are part of the working class. In other words, they were eligible for Communist Party membership. So Deng urged intellectuals who were in exile to return to China. If they possessed specialized knowledge and skills, they would be welcomed regardless of their previous attitudes. They should be told that if they want to make their contributions, it would be better for them to come home. I hope that concerted efforts will be made to accelerate progress in China's scientific, technological, and educational undertakings. We should all love our country and help to develop it. That sounds like nationalism to me.